welcome back to another segment of Voice of the Veterans Plug Talk. Now today, we got the Queen with us today, and she knows everything from disability claims to resources to, well, you name it. So that's what we're gonna tap the mind of the Queen. This is Nekeyah L. And I'm not kidding, she's the queen here, she's the boss here in the studio. But so, you know, without any further ado, I'm going to shut up and ask her a question. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right.
All right. Well, today we're just going to talk about three topics, like veteran housing for one.
Okay.
We'll start with that.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a lot of vets out there that are on the street, or
Yes.
they're in apartments that they can't afford with the COVID thing going on right now. They can't be kicked out yet, but it's coming.
Yes,
you know.
it is.
And it's not just vets; it's so many people.
People everywhere.
Yeah. But we're concentrating on the vets today.
Okay.
Any tips or any direction? Because I know that stuff's not really advertised, and they don't know where to go.
No, they don't. And that's why we actually physically go out into the community. And I feel like I had received a real good blessing being on the food sites. The people actually drive through and come to us. So we were able to get resources that way during the first part of the shutdown. So that we're essential. So that I was like, oh, so you're sending everybody to us through the drive-through. So we actually utilized that resource. And then I ended up meeting more and more people who work in different areas and need of work and volunteers. I mean, just bunch of resources through the drive-through.
Yeah, I mean, the more people you meet, the more direction you have.
Yes.
Now, there's is it HUD-VASH?
It's HUD. HUD is the generator of all the funding to different organizations.
Oh, okay.
And so what they do, they call it SSVF, but they're not government. They're just agencies that are like nonprofits and private entities and businesses and stuff that actually allocate the money out.
Okay.
But most of them do not have housing. And that's where I found a big issue is that we have property and housing. You guys do not have housing. They actually do contacts with the motels and stuff like that. And they end up putting them back into a shelter situation. And that's not good because they need to see that there's a different way than shelters. And so a lot of them get put in the shelter and then they get frustrated.
Yeah.
And they go back out on the street because the shelters are so bad to where they rather live on the street. And I was like, wow. I had a veteran who actually left the shelter and lived in a tent city for 4 years.
Oh,
that's how bad it was. Yes. They experience a lot of disrespect in these shelters. As a veteran, I still have not seen them receive the honor that they should get. As a veteran, I have not seen it yet. And look where we're at in time, and it's still the same thing. We should not see nobody on the street with a sign.
No.
We are the richest country in the world, and so they tell us that.
I don't know about the smartest right now with this election going on.
Right, exactly.
Who knows where we stand?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, so that's some of the things that I know I run into is locations to put them in. Why house them in the area which caused them to be homeless, number one.
Right.
And then we know people have shortcomings and stuff like that, but we still should love them and help them, I think, as much as we can. If we give them a hug or a smile or a bottle of water, I mean, we're all in this together is the way I feel about it. And when I'm out there, I see myself. I don't see other people. I said one day, that could be me. I said, matter of fact, that is me. And that's where my mind went. It was like, we have to do something about this.
Yeah. Good.
And so that's where we're at now. Actually, what I do, I actually call around different property people, owners and stuff, and ask them, if they're interested in our program, housing the veterans, And so that's been one of my latest things that I've been doing. Actually, today, on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, that's what I'm in here doing, finding more and more resources and trying to find more investors to come on board with us to help us get these people off the street. Because this property sitting around just empty everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere, yeah.
And I read an article the other day that some of these landlords, they were like, I just found out I had this type of person, a sex offender in my property, and put them out. Put them out.
I don't think there's too many people who argue about that one.
But I'm saying they put them out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's one of the problems.
Yes.
They have records.
Now they're intermingling with the veterans that are homeless.
And those records are really, they stand with, I was telling your guy earlier that I had a guy that was 87 years old, and they used his 1967 record to say that we're not going to help you because of what you did in 1967, but he's 87 now.
Oh, good Lord.
So they actually do that to them. So a lot of them, they have a code here in Vegas. It's a 1 to 15 code, and if you're on that code, it's on your DD-214, and if you follow under one of those 15 codes, you're actually considered dishonorable.
Really?
Yes. They went into litigation on this about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Nobody showed up to the town hall meeting, so they stamped it. And so now if you come to Vegas and you have a dishonorable discharge or under dishonorable discharge, they consider that dishonorable. And then they have a code 15 that they put on some people's DD-214. One girl told me hers was that she could never re-enlist again. So they only give her so much percentage of what her claim is.
Oh, wow.
She only gets a small percentage. So that's another reason why a lot of veterans are homeless. A lot of them do not have their claims.
Yeah.
A lot of them have claims that were filed, and they told them that they displaced the paperwork. So what is we do with that?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys find the paperwork?
Yeah.
And then they won't even like help them. It's like you have to do all this stuff. I said, what about the people who don't have a computer? Because he just told me they put everything online now.
Yeah, they do.
So
And
trying to
it's
get a DD-214 is off the chain.
Yeah, it's confusing because if you put a period upside down, they're going to reject it. You know, it's the well, it's
Yep,
the way
it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now your program, do you have a name for your program?
Well, we're the Anointed Hands Business Services, Journey to Outstanding Youth, and the Pineapple Blue Foundation. And we're also Just Righteousness Foundation. And all together we're called FACTS, and that's FACTS. And that stands for Following All Christ's Teachings. And the way you treat people is
Nice.
what pleases the Most High. And that's what we're looking at, you know, being kind, respectful, and loving to everyone.
Wow.
And
See, I didn't know that.
That overcomes everything. Love does conquer all.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. Now you see why she is the queen. That's awesome.
Yes.
That really is.
Yes.
Wow. I'm speechless after that.
Well,
That's
you're
the
here,
key.
you're in living color, so you're down here with us, so you see, we put in work, and, you know, we're genuine. We just want to
Yes,
help
you
people.
are.
One day, you're going to be in need of someone to help you.
Yeah.
And be careful how you treat people.
Oh,
Because
boy,
everybody's talking
yeah.
about karma. I was like, well, that's not my karma. I'm good. I'm trying to do the best I can.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Wow. Wow. Now you mentioned food. Obviously, two big problems for vets that are on the street
Yes.
is housing and food.
Food.
Any direction for these guys to get food?
Same thing with trying to get them housing. We actually go out in the community because we're out there and just basically let them know we do offer food, and we're able to bring the food to them as well.
Oh, good.
So we had to go get a clearance through the city, and so basically I ended up being part of Feeding America program, which is a harvest food program,
Oh, wow.
and it's in the whole United States.
Yeah.
So I have a permit to go out and feed, and then sometimes some of our partners, they'll get a permit to go set up like around the holidays, set up and cook them a real meal, and then set up like a table setting for them outside
Oh,
on railroad
that's
tracks,
nice.
under the bridge, whatever,
Yeah.
and just sit with the people and just be there with them.
Oh, man,
And
that's
right
cool.
now, we're actually working on a project now for a humanitarian project now to house homeless people. So I'm actually in the process of writing that proposal, so that we can do some things with all this open land out here.
Oh, there's a lot.
Right,
Oh, my
and
God.
I think that was like a good area to do that in, because it's too much paperwork trying to do stuff in the inner city. But if we're out there on the land, then we can house
Yeah.
more people, we can bring more food. When we're doing the food program as well, when you go out to the rural areas, we just bring the whole market out there because they don't have any grocery stores. And this
No.
will be like another week before they get food. They don't have hospitals and medical. Then we have other suburban areas way out there by the mountains
Oh,
and
wow.
stuff. And so we had put together a plan to actually get some people together, you know, gas up and go out there and just randomly find people out there, because they live out there on
Oh,
the
yeah.
land too, or on
Yeah.
the streets rather, as well.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at some of the people out there.
Oh, I
You're
bet.
walking in those woods,
I bet.
out in those mountains and stuff. You think it's a bears, people living out there.
Yeah, yeah. There's a guy that we helped with Voice of the Veteran. Well, we're still trying to help him. Matter of fact, Tim, the guy you
Okay.
talked to right now, he's helping him with that.
Okay.
And that poor guy, he has been through hell and back, and he's going again.
Aw.
Mental problems, and
Right.
he goes and lives. When he was in Colorado, he'd go up and live in the mountains, 2-3 months at
Yeah.
a time, maybe longer.
Yep.
Out here, he's got spots in in the mountains around the valley.
Exactly.
And he does it.
And that's why you'll find clothes and stuff sometimes out there
Yeah.
in the area. So people are like, you better leave that stuff alone. These people know their stuff.
Oh, boy.
They
Yeah.
they actually found them a place to live until further notice, basically. But yeah,
Wow.
the food thing here in Las Vegas is pretty big.
Yeah.
And when the shutdown came, people were like, we need food, but people were embarrassed.
Yeah, they were.
And so
Yeah.
I prayed within myself to say, let me have a spirit of welcoming. I don't care how you got in your condition, we have food, and that's all we're here to do. I don't need an explanation.
Perfect.
I don't need no paperwork. I just need to give you this food, and
Yeah.
I've done my part.
God,
And don't feel bad about it, but that's one of the reasons why a lot of people go homeless and no food is because of the way people treat them.
yeah, right.
If you are in
Yeah.
need, it's okay to ask for help, and I'm one of those people you can ask for help.
My God, you're a rarity. We need a lot more of her out here. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was told to clone myself.
Yeah, a whole bunch of times. I just keep pushing the button to keep cloning you. Yeah. Oh my God. That's great. That really is. That's fabulous.
Yes.
Now, do you have any sponsors for these programs?
Right now, we have sponsors. We were getting sponsored by some of the food restaurants, but they shut that down during the COVID.
Yeah,
so
right,
now we
yeah.
don't have the hot food anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, we don't have that right now.
So you're in need of help.
We're in need of help.
Okay.
Yes,
Every
we are.
little bit helps out there.
Every little bit helps.
We're going to put on the website, it'll be right below the video here, information on how you can help, how you can contact her, and be there to help the veterans. By helping a vet, those are the people who went out there and they fought for our country.
Yes.
I know I'm one of them, but I put those guys, right?
Yes.
But you and I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for the vets that came before us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we, as a whole, the United States doesn't treat them as like they should be treated.
No.
Because honest to God, there's like kids that come home from Afghanistan right now. They are 180 degrees different from when they left.
Right.
And the wives are like, "You're not the same guy."
Nope.
So now you got problems with the marriage, and here we go.
Right.
But yeah, it's they need help.
Yeah.
They need
One
it
of the
now.
things was that I was telling him as well is that they didn't expect anybody to come back alive.
Right.
They were supposed to come back just in body bags, so that's why they didn't really care about giving them any benefits and stuff. It's like, why do a lot of them have to go back and return to work? And then that's against them because of the medical part. I mean, they have so
Yeah.
much against them when they try to go back out into civilian society.
Right.
Which they shouldn't have to do that.
No.
But they end up having to do that so they can eat and have a roof over their head.
For sure. Well, yeah.
It's just so much.
And let's face it, they're not paid enough
They're not.
from what their normal job is, and if they're in reserve, they get called to active duty and sent over there. Not even close.
Some of
Their
them
family
go,
suffers.
Exactly. They go in the $8 to $10 an hour job. That's what they offer them. And then some of them now, I'm hearing about age and stuff now in workforce. We're in the work area, they're not wanting to hire certain people with ages now.
Right. Oh
And I
yeah.
was like, wow, so how are people supposed to go forward? So that was another thing that we thought about, and that creating jobs and stuff like that. So we're actually in the process of getting some of that,
Good.
on the table and stuff. So
Well, stay tuned for Nekeyah and all of her programs, because you see her here. The passion you have just goes right out through the camera, and it's look at that, Suzanne. But it's for me, when I first came here and I met you, I'm like, wow, the energy here was awesome.
Oh,
It still is. I mean, I look forward to coming here. I do.
Thank you.
And then because you're real.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people that are real these days. Yeah, they're really bad maybe, but
Yeah.
you've got that real true heart.
Oh.
And so you run those organizations the way you're running them, it's a total win.
Right.
So get out there, help. There's going to be information down here where you can contact her by email.
Yes.
You want to do that?
Yeah, you can
You
do
want
email.
phone number too? Or?
Sure.
Okay, it'll all be there. And let's get together. Let's do this as a team, and because together everyone accomplishes more. And the queen right here has got the heart of pure gold. So you're awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, well, that's it for today, and you're going to see her on here again. Because just sitting here, we'll just sit here and look like this or talk back and forth to the camera because it feels good. All right, so we're in. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great day, and remember to help.